Hi, Paige. Can you hear me?
Hi, yeah, I hear you.
How you doing? Good to see you.
Good.
Doing good. I'm pretty tired, but doing good though. It's in the morning. Pretty tired in the morning, always. But yeah. Well, thank you so much for
Yeah,
taking the
me
time.
too.
I appreciate it. It's nice to meet you.
Of course.
Like I've seen you around quite often, like at a lot of meets. So but never got the chance like to meet you or talk to you because you seem like kind of like quite busy and also you're always with your family. So yeah.
Yeah.
Also or from my hospital, so I see you like all the time getting interviewed and my coworkers like interviewing you as well. So yeah. Also, oh yeah, also like how you're also like pretty tall, so like you're pretty like you're pretty out there. Like I was wondering how tall are you?
5'11".
5'11"? Oh, okay. Is your parents tall as well?
Yeah, my dad's 6'5", and then my
Oh,
mom 5'8", 5'7".
oh, okay. Dang, dang. Yeah, how's your day going or your morning?
It's good. How's yours?
Pretty good. Yeah, I just woke up, didn't do that much, just eat breakfast and just like prepare for this interview and watch some YouTube. So yeah.
So,
How's your school going for you? Are you back, right?
we're online. So, yeah, we're back from break, but yeah, everything's still online. They're saying maybe the 19th we go back into class,
Uh,
but I don't know if it's gonna happen because there's been so many like problems with it. Now they have to like
right.
schedules and that kind of thing.
Got you. Got you. But school's not that bad, or just like the online. Like you all good with it, or you just don't like it?
I mean, I don't like it being online, especially like senior year, but
Right.
I mean, I've made it work, so it's been fine.
Got you. How about training wise? Like, how's that been going? Especially like with like the facility as well. It must be kind of like a struggle. Or do you have like resources?
Yeah, for training, it's been kind of difficult just because like my high school where I usually train, they shut down the track and like change the locks and everything. So
Okay.
it's been, there's been like weeks where like we haven't been able to go on the track and jump and do all that kind of stuff. So we've made like the best of it and just found like other tracks to go on and that kind
Got
of.
you. So I was wondering for pole vaulting, like how often do you like normally train? Is it like every day or like other like sports and like running, or is it just like a couple times a week? Or is like consistency really important for training wise? Pole vault.
Yeah, consistency is important. I usually vault like 2 days a week, and then
Okay.
other days I'll have like sprint and weight training.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Does it play a factor if you like don't pole vault like a lot like during the week or like not like every day or just curious about that.
um, I mean, pole vault's kind of like so I do pole vault year round, and then
Mm,
like there's like a month in summer where like I'll take off,
mhm.
and like when you get back into it, like you're always like a little rusty, but
Right.
I mean, pole vault's such like a feeling sport, so I feel like once you like know like the feeling of like getting inverted and all that kind of stuff, it kind of it comes natural as like riding a bike,
Mm,
so I mean consistency is important, but I also feel like if you happen to just have a couple weeks where you can't vault and you get back into it, like you can kind of start close to where you left off.
oh, okay. Interesting. Got it. Got it. I was wondering, where were you born and like where were you from?
Thousand Oaks.
Thousand Oaks? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you grew up in Thousand Oaks?
Hmm.
Oh, that's nice, nice. And I was wondering, like, it must be like pretty hard for you, like, not having a season and like your senior year and like, rank number one and have so much like potential and growth as well. Like how has that been like adjusting and moving on?
Yeah, so when quarantine first hit, it was definitely um like a rough period just because I was kind of just getting into the groove of like getting to meets and like just got off like the best meet of my life. So it was definitely really tough, but yeah, I kind of kept training through it. So I mean, I'm just training hoping that there will be more meets coming up. Um but yeah, it's been rough just having like half of my high school career not having a season. So hopefully this year we'll have some meets and
Hmm.
I'll be able to jump.
For sure, for sure. I was wondering, like, what's your story? And, like, how did you get into pole vaulting? Like, did you start young? Because it's like it's kind of like, I don't know, like rare because like not many people like start off pole vaulting when they're young because it requires like a resource and all like the poles and like the mats and stuff like that. So like, how did you get into it?
Definitely, yeah. So my dad vaulted at UCLA.
Oh,
And
cool, nice.
so in his office at home, he has like his like Pac-12 like awards and all that kind of stuff, and there's
Oh,
pictures
cool.
of him vaulting. So yeah, just growing up and seeing that, I think it's like really eye-catching, and just like him like flying in the air. I was like, that's crazy. Like, and my personality is like identical to my dad's.
Oh,
So I think he like knew I could have potential in the sport, and I was really into it. Just looking at pictures, I was like, I want to do it. I want to do it. And so I first asked him 6th grade if he would take me out, and he's like, no, like wait till freshman year of high school, like then you'll get like a high school coach, because he hadn't like talked about pole vaulting or like watch vaulting in like 20 years. So he's like, oh,
oh,
just wait till high school, because then you'll get like an actual coach.
mm,
But yeah, I just kept bugging him, and like when he would go to work, I'd write on sticky notes saying like, let Paige pole vault, and like just leave him all over his office. So then he would come home, and like finally convinced him with enough begging to let me vault. So he took me out to Thousand Oaks High School. We had to jump over the fence to get to the pit, just because for like middle school, like you don't have access to anything. Like
right.
that's not, a thing in California. So
Mhm.
we hopped a high school pit, and then he was like teaching me just like general, drill stuff. I was just like jogging in, planning in, kind of just jumping up. So yeah, we did that. I think I practiced maybe twice that year. It wasn't a lot for 6th grade. And then that summer, he put me into an all-comers meet at Santa Monica,
Okay.
and um I jumped 7'6". So I did like 5 feet to 7'6", all first attempt.
Mhm.
And that was like, I think I was the only one that was not in high school. So
Right.
that was, I think, very eye-opening to my dad. When he saw that, he was like, okay, like let's start like taking it seriously. So 7th grade, I think we tried to do like once a week vaulting, and then 8th grade twice a week, and then ever since
Mm.
just keeping it consistent.
Oh, nice. Wow. Interesting story. And I love the dedication, just just being really young and that spark and that, the drive that you have, that passion and just that dedication, just like really want to do it instead of like hearing a couple of times and saying no and later it's like, okay, might as well just do it in high school. But that drive and that dedication of really want to doing it. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. What would you say is like your favorite part of pole vaulting and like the most rewarding part of it as well?
Um, I would say my favorite part is competing, just because
Mhm.
you get to meet like so many different people from like different parts. And
For sure. Mhm.
pole vaulting, surprisingly to me, is like such like a friendly sport. I
Mhm.
feel like, there's other events where it's like super, super competitive, and not that
Right.
pole vault isn't competitive, but just like the people within the sport are so sweet. And like I made so many friends just by going to meets and talking to people. And I think that's really fun. And
Mhm.
I think the most rewarding part is, just making a PR after like you put in like a year's work of hard work, and just getting it to see it like pay off in meets.
For sure. Yeah, I kind of resonate with it as well as with like running as well. Like for like distance running, like one of the best part of it is just the community and just like and the race is awesome just to meet like so many different people from all different places and just like I say like I play a lot of sports and say definitely like the running community and also it's just the track community as well. It's definitely like the nicest like people like
Mhm.
they're and just like yeah, just like the sportsmanship and just like encouraging one another and just like the atmosphere and the environment community is really strong for sure.
Yeah.
And love like track meets and just meeting new people too, for
Mhm.
sure. I'll say like kind of like going out and back to like the wording part, like what we say is like the most um like actually like what we say is like the biggest thing that you learned from like your whole high school career in pole vaulting.
Um, the biggest thing I've learned is not letting like losses define you as like an athlete, because
For sure.
I mean pole vault is such an up and down sport. You can PR one week, no height the next week. Like
Oh, okay.
it's just there's so many factors that go into it that, it's hard to stay consistent every meet. And just like there's never meets where you're going for PRs like 10 meets in a row. Like, you'll always have like a meet that isn't so good, and then you might get like a good meet. So I think that is definitely a lesson I've learned. And I mean, from high school, like for me, the biggest part was like state meets. That was so important to me. And freshman year got third place, sophomore year got second place. So
Nice. Nice.
that, I mean, that was a huge accomplishment. But as like an athlete, that like wasn't good enough for me. And, because I'm always shooting to get first place. So I think
Sure.
that is what kind of helped my training, like my mindset and training, to get me to keep pushing and like go for bigger goals. And I think that was a big factor that led to my 14.6 jump junior year.
Got you. Okay, nice, nice. I was wondering for like pole vaulting, like for consistency or like for like PRing, like for running, like maybe it happens like a couple times like a season, maybe like three, four, or sometimes like two. For pole vaulting, is that kind of different of like PRing quite often in the season, or is it kind of like rare, or like is just very long term? What do you say?
It definitely depends on like the person and where you are in your vaulting career. I'd
Right,
say when you start off, I feel like that's when you get most of your PRs, and like they can happen pretty fast, I'd say, just because, you're just getting into it. And
right.
so it goes up by 6-inch increments. So like
Okay.
I feel like when you're starting out, maybe like right away you could be jumping like 8 feet. So then if you start a meet and you're coming at 5 feet, it's like a bunch of PRs right there. And then like
Sure.
that. But when you're in it for a while, then that's when it gets tougher because
Right.
there's you might have like the technique down. So now it's like you have to go back to speed and strength training, and like that will be like most important to helping your vault, or
Okay.
like vice versa. So yeah, I'd say it definitely depends, but um yeah, when you get jumping high, then you kind of have to be very picky with what you're trying to work on.
Got you. I was wondering from like all your experience and just all the valleys and just the moments and the things that you've experienced, like what you say, like how has that like changed you as a person for pole vaulting?
um, yeah, I would say it's definitely changed my mindset. And like because you have to be mentally tough to pole vault, because it's kind of a crazy sport if you really think about it. Like you're just putting all your trust in this pole, and you're just running and throwing yourself upside down and trying to clear the bar. So I'd say just learning to like be confident in myself, and like know that like I can do it, and like to trust in my coaches and my training and everything, that like it's going to be a good jump if I just go for it and not hold back.
Got you. Was the transition or just like going into pole vaulting when you were young, was it pretty difficult for you or was it kind of like natural? What do you say? The first couple times?
Um I mean, definitely I was not very good, but
Okay.
I came from playing club soccer and basketball, so
Oh, nice.
I was kind of used to, running and jumping. So it wasn't too out of my comfort zone. But yeah, it was definitely a change. But I think, you start off with such basics that
Mm,
it's pretty easy to like work your way up, and it's not like you just go out and it's like
mm.
that you're expected to like run and jump and do some crazy thing. Like, you start with like really little things, and so it's not like a crazy jump when you start doing more and more.
Got you. Yeah. Like for pole vaulting, like for me, like I tried a couple times, like harder than I thought. I think it's so much technique for sure.
Mhm.
And it's like I thought it was just like maybe just like go up and run quickly and just the pole and just like jump over it. But I realized it's just like a lot of technique and a lot more than I thought. So that's cool. Cool. Yeah, props to you guys.
Mhm.
So I was wondering, oh yeah, what position do you guys or how long you played basketball and soccer for?
I played basketball since I was 5 years old to
Oh dang.
like seventh grade, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
And then basketball probably like 8 to seventh grade too.
Oh, okay, nice, nice.
Seventh grade is kind of when I started taking pole vault seriously, so
Oh,
I
okay.
started to get rid of my other sports just to put
Mm,
more focus on it.
got it, got you. I was wondering, like, what position do you play for both?
For soccer and basketball,
Yeah.
um, basketball I was point guard because I was really short.
Oh, really? Oh,
And
okay.
um, Soccer, um, I kind of switched off from being defender to attacker, so kind of just depended on the game and where my coach wanted to put me.
Got you. Nice, nice. Well, how's your experience like for playing basketball and soccer?
It was great. I think especially doing sports like a club level, I think that kind of gave me like a good mentality going into pole vault just because, like just being aggressive and like all that kind of thing, it's definitely very helpful for the vault. And just those are team sports, so learning like the team aspect kind of translates to pole vault because even though it's an individual sport, like you cheer on everyone. Like it could be like your biggest competitor and you're like cheering them on to get them over the bar and you're like, you got it. Like and just
Mhm.
having that, team mentality.
For sure. Nice. I was wondering, for playing like that long, like, do you still miss soccer or basketball?
Um,
Not really.
Not really, honestly.
Oh,
I mean, I did really like basketball, I'd say. And I liked soccer too, but I think kind of when I got into pole vault, I was just like, this is way better. And like, I
gotcha.
just had such more of a love for that sport than soccer and basketball. So it
Uh,
wasn't too hard for me to say bye.
nice. All right. I was wondering, what would you say is like the biggest challenge that like you experienced and overcame, and like, has there been like any mental barrier? I think you mentioned a little bit before on like, and like reversing throughout your pole vault career.
Yeah, I'd say sophomore year was the most impactful year for me just because that year Ashley Callahan, who had my same PR 13.6 at the time.
Mhm.
We were both going to the state meet, like ranked the highest, I think. So everyone was kept telling me like, oh, it's you or her that's gonna win state. And that's the year where like my mental like for the sport, I was going down. Like I
Mm,
would go to meets and like my dad be like, why are you freaking out? Because I just like right away like would just get nervous and I was just really not confident and it was you could see in like a lot of my meets, I just wouldn't have good jumps or like I'd have a really good jump and then we'd be going for the next bar and I would just like have a total freak out and not be able to do it. So I think that really affected me that year and then going into the state meet getting second, I was definitely really upset because I was hoping to get that first place. So that's when um, my dad and I we like talked about it and got like a new game plan and we're like junior year we're coming back and like we're gonna, bring fire and everything. Like
mm,
I really just started trusting my training and get more confident, not like psych myself out. And then just I picked up my speed and strength training, which was a big help too.
got you. Yeah, I was wondering, like, yeah, definitely, like, in terms of like being such a high level and just like and like competing with other people at such high levels, like definitely like have an aspect of a lot of comparison for sure, and like and it's like the mental barrier of like going against them. I think it's pretty common for sure. Like how would you say like you overcame that mentally? 'Cause I think it's pretty tough as well, and try people like not to compare their stuff or the big opponent they're going against.
Mhm. I mean, my parents were a big help with it, just because like I mean, I remember like 5 days before me, like I would just cry to my mom and I'd be like, I don't want to lose. Like, and that was just the thing that like took over my head. I was just like, I can't lose. Like, that was the only thing. It wasn't like, oh, like have fun or like try to PR. It was like, don't lose. Like, you can jump 9 feet, just don't lose the meet. And that's kind of where I was. And I mean, like, that's when my parents kind of stepped in and they're like, you don't be afraid of it. Like, it's one meet. And like, my dad was like, it's better to PR and get 10th place than not PR and get first.
Mm,
And that's when I was like, okay, yeah, like I'd rather PR. Like that's more like impressive to me and like more important than just winning and with not a good jump. And I think them kind of just calming me down at meets and saying like just have fun, it's not a big deal. That was very, very helpful. And then over time, I think, I kind of um started to build my confidence with it and I was just like, okay, like I got this. I know what I'm doing. Like, like I've been in the sport for a while. I know how meets work. Like I know what I need to do in a meet if to do well. Like just kind of going back to what I know how to do.
got you. Nice, nice. Also wondering like for like what's the feeling like when you like pole vault and like the first couple of like times you know pole vaulted so high up there and I see like a lot of like big like just a lot of emotion and expression and seeing that big smile and that excitement on people's faces when they go over that you know the what was it the pole but yeah just like what is that feeling like?
It's incredible. Like, I don't know, I mean, pole vault's such a cool sport and, like, you really do feel like you're flying for part of it, so it's
Mhm,
definitely really exciting, and I think, especially, like, going over, like, a PR bar,
mhm,
that's when, your emotion comes out because it's like you've been training so hard for this moment and, like, you finally got it, and it's like everyone's celebrating you. Sorry. Like, the other athletes, coaches, parents that don't even know who you are, like,
mhm.
it could be, like, a high jump parent, she's screaming for you, like,
Right.
it's like everyone in the sport is, like, just so happy for you, and it's, like, your special moment.
For sure, yeah, definitely. Like when you go to meets and someone's like pole vaulting, just like that crowd or that section right next to the mats, and like just the encouragement and just like the yeah, just like the joy and just of like just cheering on in that community is really strong for sure.
Mhm.
Definitely witnessed that for sure. I was wondering, how about from mentally, just right before you go over that bar, what is that like? Just like the feeling in your mentality.
Um, yeah, I try really not to think about it.
Oh, just emotion.
That's when I usually do better if I'm like, "Oh, like, this is a PR, like,
Huh.
I have to," like, that's when I, like, kind of overthink a little bit, and then I, like, might run differently, so my steps off or, like, might test out the pole, not, like, fully just jump and see how it bends, so I think, because usually for PRs too, like, you could be on, like, your biggest pole ever that you've never jumped on in practice, so it's like, you just gotta go for it, like, you have 3 attempts, like, you have to make the most of it, and so, I just try not to think about the height, and I'm like, "I'm gonna do the same jump I did on the last jump," and just see what happens, like, not give, like, half effort, like, I'm just gonna do the same thing I was doing, not think good about it.
Got it. Okay, nice, nice. I was wondering, like, when you first started off, or like pole vaulting, like, like just really like being high up there. Like, do you ever like feel like I don't know, just some sense of fear, just like maybe making a mistake and falling backwards? Because sometimes I feel that when I first tried it out, or just looking at these like pros or just like going with like so much height.
Um, I don't really think about that just
Okay,
'cause, like, you have so much practice and I mean, everyone takes falls, like, I've
sure.
been rejected by poles and thrown backwards and, like, you just have to get up and be like you kinda have to just know what you did wrong, like, maybe you ran differently or the bend wasn't on right, like, little things that you can just change and, you can always, like, if you get nervous about it, you can always, like, bring your step up,
Mm,
a little bit or, like, go down a pole and, like, just kind of get, like, the feeling of, like, an easier jump and then go back
okay.
to it, so
Gotcha. Nice, nice. It looks so cool, especially just like going that high and like right when you try to let go of the pole, like looking down. Like, do you is that just really quick? Like something you can't like you don't remember or like think of like how high you're up there when you're just like letting go right when you let go of the pole and like looking down, like when you're like half body's over like the bar.
I think there's, like, just so much adrenaline in you that you,
I
like,
bet.
don't really think about it, and it's such, like, a quick moment, and, like, for me, um, I usually, like I remember, like, running, and then the second I jump off, like, the ground, I don't remember a thing until I'm falling down.
Oh dang.
So, I kinda don't really remember that, I think I'm just so focused that I kind of just black that part out and don't remember, but yeah.
Got you. Nice, nice. I was wondering if you can walk me through like that meet or you know PR'd and just like yeah, just walk me through and can you explain just like the moment and just like the breakthrough of that pole vault?
For sure. So that meet is funny to us now just because I woke up like that morning at like 2 a.m. and I woke up my dad and I was like,
Oh
I
wow.
feel awful. Like I was like, I'm so sick right now. Like I was coughing. I was like, this is awful. And I told him, I'm like, I cannot do the meet tomorrow. And he was like, okay, like, well, just try to sleep. Like, I'll wake you up and we'll see how you feel. And
Uh,
then that morning he woke me up and was like, okay, like, how are you feeling? And I was like, I'm like, I cannot go to the meet. Like, I just don't feel good. And I mean, for high school careers, like for outdoor season, I think you have 13 meets you can go to. So like you can't go over that. So my dad, we already planned out, you know, before season, like these are the 13 meets we're going to. And
mm,
he's like, you only get so many opportunities. Like, I think you should just go. Like, he was like, if you just want to jump one bar, like, and then you don't feel good enough to do more, like, that's fine. But like, let's just go out and try it. So I was like, okay. So I got ready and I was just not in the mood just because I wasn't feeling good, warmed up.
uh,
And then in my practice jumps, I was doing pretty well and I was like moving like my bigger poles that I usually go on during meets and not in warm-ups.
uh,
So then I was like, oh, like for some reason this is really easy today. And yeah, so I came in at 11.6, I think.
uh,
And then I just had like a really good jump. I had a lot of hip height over it. And so I was like, oh, let's just keep going. And then I ended up PRing at 13.7. My PR was 13.6 before,
oh wow.
but it was an inch PR. And so I was stoked about that.
Mm,
And I was like, oh, let's keep going. Like, so you hit at 13.9. I cleared 13.9. And then we went to 14. And
mm,
then when after I cleared 14, like my dad was going crazy or like this is the best meet ever. And he said to me, he's like, okay, like that's good. Like you can be done now if you don't feel good. And I was like, no way. Like
oh, wow.
I was like, I'm gonna keep going until I
Uh,
end on three misses. Like I'm not gonna quit early.
uh,
And my mom was in the stands that day, so she saw 14 feet and she had to work. So
oh, dang.
um, she was like, asked my dad, like texted him and was like, oh, like I'll push it back, like I'll just stay. And my dad's like, no, no, like she jumped 14 feet, like she's done.
Oh,
And then my mom left. We put it at 14.3. I made 14.3, and they put it at 14.6. I made 14.6. And so that was just a crazy meet, like
I bet for sure.
PRing a foot, like, and just like doing it like when I wasn't feeling my best. And I was like, this is the greatest day. And
Mm.
my dad and I were so stoked. And then my mom came over because she heard the news and she's crying her eyes out and was just so happy. And it was just such an amazing day. And I didn't even know at the time, but that was the California state record. So
Oh wow.
after I jumped that, we heard that, and then we were like, "This is insane!" Like
Mm,
it was crazy. And then we put the bar 14.9,
uh,
so that would be the high school national record.
mm,
Um, and I had a couple close attempts at it, but wasn't quite there. But
mm.
yeah, it was just such an amazing day. We were on such a high that whole day, and
Wow.
um,
Nice.
that was kind of what made us like so excited for season. We're like, it because it was just so unexpected. I think just because I wasn't feeling good, and I
Right.
think that might have actually helped me because since I wasn't feeling good, I wasn't really like thinking too much about the meet, and I was just kind of like, like we're here for fun. I'll just see how it goes, and wasn't like nervous about making heights. I was
Right.
like, I just like kind of calm with it. So
Mm,
yeah, I just think it was such a great day. And
mm.
I mean, we still talk about it and are so happy with it.
But for sure. That's awesome. That's wow. What an amazing story. That's very interesting. That's amazing to hear for
Thank
sure.
you.
I heard some like something similar to story to like other people too, and like and also like my teammate as well, like won me for like Mount Sac relays or yeah, just like he wasn't feeling well, warming up and just didn't feel good. And I heard like those similar stories as well. And like all of a sudden like they just do really good. I think
Mhm,
that's like how you mentioned too, just like when you feel like kind of like sick or just don't feel that well, like just your not much thought into the competition and the nerves is not there. But later with all that training and that passion and that talent, it just like it just pays off for sure.
mhm, for sure.
But it's not everybody though. That's very unique
Mm.
scenario for sure. Awesome. What was your mom reaction like when she's like, when she left? It's like, dang, I should have just stayed.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely wishes she stayed, but my dad, sorry, my dad didn't think that I'd be jumping any higher than 14 feet because, you don't really see people going that much higher than PRs. Usually, like, I
Uh,
think like sophomore year, every time I PR'd it was by an inch.
oh wow.
So yeah, so it was definitely crazy. But I just remember like walking off the field, and she like walked out of the stands, and she like ran up to me crying, and like we just had like a 5 minute hug. Like she just was so happy, and yeah, it was such an amazing moment.
Yeah, that's insane. That's crazy. What was the celebration like? I bet like just afterwards. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, my grandparents too, they wanted to come, but
Uh,
they had, tickets to see a basketball game,
Oh,
and dad was like, "Oh, like, don't worry about this meet, like, it's not like a big meet," so he told them to go too, so,
oh,
we eventually got together with them, and they were just going crazy, they thought it was, like, the coolest thing, and, like, I it's just, like, everyone was so happy for me, which made it so much more special just 'cause
for sure.
seeing everyone how it affected everyone, and like everyone was like so like happy for towards me, and like it just made it all that much better.
Awesome. Wait, when was this again? Or
um February 22nd to 2020.
20? Oh, okay. Nice, nice. Wow, that's awesome to hear. I
Thank
was,
you.
so what do you say that's like, or I was wondering, where's your favorite like meet, or what do you say it's the place where you PR'd, or Thousand Oaks, or is there other place where it's like you really like the stadium and just like the mat and the place and the event?
um, I mean, I definitely like that meet, that's a great meet. I like Texas relays too, just because
Okay, I heard
it's so
about
high energy, and
that. Mhm.
you know you have there's great tailwinds there too, which are really helpful. Arcadia is a fun one too. It
Yeah,
just like when you have a lot of competition there, it makes it like more fun because it's a lot more like competitive, and like you just get that adrenaline going.
gotcha. Well, yeah, yeah. I remember Katie. I remember Chloe Cunliffe. She PR'd there and did a crazy vault. Were you there or no?
Yeah, I was there. I was competing with her.
Oh, awesome. That's cool. Yeah. Wow. It's nice, nice. Yeah. How about I heard like my friend does pole vaulting too, and he mentioned about this meet where like um I don't know, it's like out of California. It's like a lot of the pros go there too, like Mundo and like this other like pros. Do you know that event, or I don't know? It's like an yearly thing.
Was it this year or?
Oh no, a couple years ago or like 2 years ago, I think. It's like a really big meet where it's like there's also like a lot of pros that compete, kind of like Mount Sac relays, where there's a lot of pros that compete there too.
Might be the Reno Pole Vault Summit.
Mhm.
Would
Yeah,
that be?
it's something. I think it's the summit. Yeah,
Yeah, or I
interesting.
know like Texas Expo. There were a lot of pros there too.
Got you. Have you went to those meets?
I've gone to the Reno Pole Vault Summit 4 years now, I think.
Oh, okay.
And that's such a fun meet, yeah. You see the pros jump the first night, and then the next day you compete.
Got you. Nice, nice. Well, who's your favorite pole vaulter? Like, who's your inspiration pole vaulting wise?
Um, I mean, I definitely, like, watch Mondo and Sam Kendricks,
Mhm.
but, yeah, I really like Sandy Morris too.
Okay,
I
nice.
think she has a great jump, so I'll watch her a lot.
Got you. Nice, nice. I was wondering, like being as like only a high school student and being really young, I was wondering what's the process, the mindset like when receiving so much media attention, like interviews and just like in the media on the internet and stuff like that, and just like so much hype as well, and just receiving that as a young age.
I mean, I'm so grateful for it, and,
Uh,
it's been a crazy ride high school year, like, high school, just having, all that, like, attention. It's been very eye-opening to me just because I didn't think that I would be getting that ever. So, it's definitely so cool and such a great experience, and, I mean, I love doing interviews. I think it's such an exciting thing to do, but yeah, I think it kinda is a good, motivator for me to keep working because it's like, I wanna get my name more out there and, like, break records, so it's really exciting.
cool, cool. Also transition to like college, like congrats on committing to Duke, and that's
Thank you.
awesome. And I was wondering, like, how's the college process like for you? Is it pretty stressful, pretty
It's
difficult?
super
Or
stressful.
I bet.
Yeah, I mean, I had so many people telling me, like, I would just enjoy it, like,
Huh.
all the attention, and I did not enjoy it. I mean, it's definitely great to get, like, coaches talking to you and, like, have
Right.
that interaction, but I think like for me, I hate making decisions. I'm the worst decision maker. Like
Okay.
I'm so indecisive. So I was like, oh great, like we gotta go through this. But yeah, I think for me deciding on Duke was kind of easy just because my parents, so there were no official visits this year because of
Uh,
COVID,
right.
but my parents flew me out to like see a couple campuses
That's
to
awesome.
help make my decision. So I think that was super, super helpful just because I mean, I didn't really know much about Duke. So seeing like the campus, talking to students there, and like kind of getting like the vibe of the life there, like
Mhm.
that was really helpful for making my decision.
Right. And the campus is beautiful. Like, wow.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
I'm like really big in architecture and just the design and just like and it's kind of like old too, but like it's really
Mhm.
like beautiful as well. I was like,
Yeah,
dang,
I love
just
it.
like looking at Google and looking at the images for sure. It's like, geez. I was wondering like, so when you go into like the college process, like before, like it seems like you're going with an open mind. And I was wondering like before, so you didn't have like any colleges in mind that like, well, I want to go to this place.
Um, I'd say honestly my whole life until junior year, I said I wanted to go to either UCLA or Stanford,
Huh.
just because I'm such a homebody, and I was like, I want to stay in California. And both my parents went to UCLA, so that was definitely on my list. And
Okay.
then my grandpa went to Stanford, and it's such a great school, so that was definitely on my list too. Um, yeah, I did not expect to go out of state, especially go to the East Coast,
Hmm.
but I'm super happy with my decision because I think the coaching is really what I need, and like I think it'll be just a great experience to kind of go off on my own too.
Gotcha. Nice. Was your mom an athlete still at UCLA?
No, just a student.
Oh, okay. Got you. Nice. That's cool. So, did your parents meet at UCLA or?
Yeah, they did. They went to the same high school, but
Oh, wow.
they didn't know each other, but they met in college. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Nice. Oh, that's cool. Um, yeah. So I was wondering, what was the other colleges that you visited? Like, yeah, mhm, that your parents took out you to.
Um, I visited. Yeah, I visited Stanford, Duke, Michigan, Georgia, and Washington.
Oh, okay. Cool. Nice. Nice. I was wondering, like, for like just such an individual sport. I mean, like for other sports, it's kind of a lot more easier for like where you want to go and stuff like that in the program as well. Um, like, what were you like looking for, like specifically in the college and just the program and overall?
So I didn't really have like things I was really looking for, except for a school that had good academics and good athletics. That was kind of the only criteria I was looking for. Yeah, I didn't know if I wanted like big campus, small campus. I mean, I also knew I wanted like school spirit and like that kind of thing. Yeah, but I was mainly just looking at the coaching and seeing like, are they going to help me improve and like, am I just going to be happy up there? So that was just kind of what I'm looking for. But yeah, I think visiting is like such a big help for like
Sure.
anyone who commits. Like they should see the campus just to like get a feel because I think that
Right.
was kind of the thing that put me over the edge. It's like you get like some kind of feeling in you that you're like, oh yeah, this feels like home. Where
Right.
like you go to other places and you're just like, yeah, this is not it for me. Like there were
Exactly.
some places I expected to like, and I just wasn't the biggest fan of it.
Got you. Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's definitely important. I was wondering, like for colleges, like a lot of being such a high level and just receiving like a lot of top programs and coaches, pole vault coaches, and they're all like really good as well. Like, what separates someone, or in terms of like coaching wise, and really like stands out and makes them special compared to other coaches and programs as well? What do you say?
Um, what stood out to me was like how invested coaches were.
Mm,
I mean, I talked to some who were like, oh, like let's like yeah, come jump here and like I asked them like, "Oh, like what do you see me doing like in college, like
mm,
at your school?" And like they were like, "Oh, like I see you jumping high, going to the big meets." Where like I talked to other coaches who were like, "Okay, like I see you, like I'm gonna do this with you, which is gonna help improve this in your vault, and then that's gonna help you get into this meet, and then from there, like we can
mm.
go to this championship meet, and then like eventually Olympics." And like they had like all these plans for me, and like they had a plan on how to get me there.
Right.
And I think that's what I was like, okay, like you actually care about like my goals and like what I want to do. And that was kind of what I was like, okay, that's what I'm looking for. Like I want a coach that's like invested and like wants me to get better.
Got you. Yeah, for sure. Like I heard that from like other people I interviewed as well and asked that question, and just knowing like they mentioned like it's very similar to what you said, like talking about like how they're very invested in, and they're very like when you ask um like um like what are some things that like your goals or things that you have planned for me, and they're very some are very broad and generic, but some are like very specific and planned out very small things and leading to this and another. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
interesting. I was wondering, pretty curious, like what kind of questions like does the coach ask you, or like just the meetings and the conversation you have with some coaches? What is it like?
Yeah, I mean, I was always very nerve-wracking going on calls, just because it's so like, it was, like, a new experience for me. I've never talked to coaches and, like, just knowing, like, I'm gonna go to college at one of these coaches, universities, and yeah, like, I think mostly they were just kinda asking, like, what I'm looking for in college, and since, like, I didn't really have, like, a bunch of criteria that I was looking for, I think a lot of them fit what I was looking for, so it kinda just came down to, like, visiting and, yeah, but, all the coaches were super sweet and, like, wanted me to go to, like, the college that was best fit for me, so, it was just kind of good to, like, make those connections and talk to everyone and kind of see what, they're like and if we click.
Got you, for sure, for sure. I was wondering, would you say like the meetings are like very professional, but or is it like also like very casual too?
It kinda depended on the coach.
Right.
There were some that were, like, more, like, on the funny side and would, like, make jokes and, like, have, like, that funny conversation, and there were some that were, like, okay, like, pull vault, like, here, and, like, structured, but, I'd say if I was going on, like, a Zoom call with coaches, that's when it was more professional, and, like,
Got you.
the phone calls were just kind of more, like, personal and, like, having fun with it.
Right. Got you. Nice, nice. I was wondering, do you know what you want to major in or not yet?
I'm not sure, but something in law or sports, I'd say.
Oh, cool, nice, interesting. Duke definitely great opportunities for that too, and good programs for sure. I was wondering, what do you think was like the biggest thing that you're looking forward to in like growing and learning as a student and athlete at college at Duke?
Definitely managing everything because I think college is so different than high school, like you have to,
Right.
go to meets, like, have to fly to meets and that kind of thing. Where usually like for high school meets, I had to drive like 10 minutes to get there. So, just doing kind of getting stuff done on the road and all that. Also like just now it's like making new like friends with the team and yeah, just kind of learning college life and all that.
Mm, interesting. I was wondering, like a lot of like, are you planning to join like any clubs at Duke
Um,
programs, or just school and pole vaulting?
haven't thought too much about it, but probably just school and pole vaulting because I feel like it'll take up a lot of my time.
Got you. Yeah, I was wondering for pole vaulting, like how do you break it down for like yearly as well? Like, do you like instead of like not burning out or being so tired and just like, and also like the season before?
Yeah, definitely. So for I usually take my break, I'd say August.
Oh,
So that's when like I'm off of vaulting. Like I won't touch a pole. I won't really run. Like just kind of let my body rest, and then I'd say like from September to December, it's like just kind of getting back in shape, like doing like training just to do that and like you're vaulting but not from like your full run where like so
okay.
my full run is 8 strides, which means like so you count like your laps, so 8 laps, so like 16
Mm,
steps. So then for practice I'll do like a 5 step
okay.
and then like after that like I'll work my way back to like a 7. So I'm at a 7 right now. And then like soon I'll go back to an 8 and now it's kind of when I'm doing like specific like speed training, like not long distance at all, like doing, like 50s and that kind of thing just to get me into pole vault shape.
Got you. Okay. How long do you normally take a break for pole vaulting? Like, what's the normally like
Um,
average?
yeah, I'd say 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, okay. Nice, nice. And also, what are some of your goals in like short term, long term, just in college, as like student or also like as an athlete as well?
My short-term goal for right now is to get high school national record,
Mhm.
so it's 14.8 and a quarter right now.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
okay,
and then college, Duke's school record's 15.2, so I hope to get that, and then, like, long term is Olympics.
for sure. Nice, nice. And I was wondering for like in college, like one of the biggest things is like growth and like growing as a person. I was wondering like how do you want to grow as a person and at Duke, and what are some things that you want to take away from your experience in college and when you graduate and go into like just an adult life as well and just doing professionally training for Olympics.
Um, I mean, I just wanna enjoy the experience because I am, like, such, like, a structured person and, like,
Mm.
I need everything in order and, like, I feel like I'm very focused on school and track and everything, which is good, but, I also feel like for college, like, having fun with it too, like, not being so stressed about meets coming up, like, kind of just enjoying everything that there is, at Duke, so yeah, I'd say, staying focused, but also, like, kind of letting myself, like, have fun instead of, like, worrying about, like, my vault all the time and just kind of making those new connections and going from there.
For sure. I was wondering like is there anything like you're really looking forward to at college as of right now?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of having like a new program for training. I know at Duke they do like gymnastic stuff to help with like body awareness for vaulting, which I
Oh,
have no gymnastics
interesting.
experience, so I think that might be super fun. Uh, and then like dorms, I think that could be super fun just because I know like at Duke they have a track and cross country dorm.
Right.
So like I think that'll be super fun to, kind of have like all your close friends in like one area. And then also they do these dinners like 3 times a week, I think, where they have
Uh,
all the athletes like meet in this one place and get food together. So I think
nice.
that'll be a good place to make friends and
Uh-huh.
talk to everyone.
Cool. Awesome. That's amazing. I was wondering, who you say is like your inspiration in life?
Definitely my parents. Yeah, they're very hard workers and they do so much for me. So I
Mhm.
definitely look up to them.
Sure. And like, what was like the biggest advice would you say like you received in general like in life and also like from your parents and like pole vaulting wise?
They give me a lot of advice. I'm trying to think. Definitely just, I mean, my mom's favorite quote is "Work hard and be nice." So
Hmm.
that's definitely a thing. And just they say like to just enjoy like every moment, just because like there's not like a bunch of times that you're gonna PR and like have these great meets. So just like when you get it, just to like enjoy and like enjoy like the little things like if you like fix technique, like that's something to like celebrate, not like fix it and be like, oh, well, okay, I did that right, but now that like I need to fix this other thing because I'm very picky about my vault and I'll see like 10 things wrong with it in my technique. And my dad would be like, focus on one and then get that down and then we'll work on the next one. So, um, yeah, I'd say just enjoying everything and like taking like little accomplishments, not focusing too much on like bigger things, just being present and focusing on what is happening now.
For sure. That's amazing advice. For sure. I was wondering what you say is your favorite book?
I like the Glass Castle.
Glass Castle. Oh, awesome with Jeanette Walls, right?
Mhm.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you seen the movie?
I dab, yeah.
Nice. What do you think about like first of all, crazy story. That's like
Yeah.
insane. Like just like huge props to Jeanette. Like just like the way she persevered and just like man, just like very tough life and story in childhood and just like overcoming that and still have that humility and that forgiveness and love for her parents is just very inspiring. And
Definitely.
wow. What do you think about the movie and the book?
Um, I mean, I think the book was a lot better than the movie, but I thought the movie was great too, but yeah. I just think it's such a crazy story because, it's so different from my life, so just hearing about it and, like, what she did in life is really cool.
For sure. Yeah, I'll say like I haven't finished the book yet. I think I'm like towards the end. I need to finish it and then get the chance to. But as of right now, it's like definitely one of my favorite books I've read so far. It's like it's really good. Like just like she's really good at like just storytelling.
For
But
sure.
yeah, the movie was pretty good. It was pretty good too. I think I watched it in Hawaii. So the director, his name is Dessa Crenton. I actually like watched the movie in his hometown that he grew up because I was at Hawaii on
Oh,
vacation and it came out during that time. So I just watched it with my family at one of
that's
the
very
theaters in Hawaii. But and also like the acting was really good too, with Woody Harrelson and I think Brie. But very impressive. Like when I watched the movie, I was like, man, I was just shook like how this is like a true story and a true life. And I was like, man, I gotta look more into this story. It's like super inspiring and
cool.
so mind blowing. Like I haven't heard anything like it before. But
Mhm.
it's interesting. Cool. How about what's your favorite like movies and TV shows?
My favorite TV shows are The Amazing Race, that's definitely a favorite, and then I like Impractical Jokers,
Yeah.
um, Gilmore Girls I like a lot.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wait, for the book, what would you say is like the main thing that like stood out to you or that you really liked about?
Um, just knowing how, like, she had, like, all these tough experiences, but she made it, like, so great and, like, didn't let those kinda define her, like,
Mm-hmm.
she had a tough, like, upbringing, but
Sure.
she, like, knew what she wanted and
Mhm.
worked for the life she wanted.
For sure. Got you. That's interesting. Because it's like really good book and I haven't heard that many people like read it. I think it's like first person that I know that read that book.
Really?
Yeah. I was wondering, how about what's your some of your favorite hobbies and things like to do, especially with a lot of free time as of right now. What you've been up to and doing?
Um, I like baking a lot, and
Oh,
then,
nice.
um, friends and I, we go thrifting a lot, which is really fun.
Oh, cool. Nice. What's your favorite thing to bake?
I'm always kinda trying, like, healthy, like, dessert recipes, so that's kinda what I'm doing, and I really like making crepes. I
Oh,
think that's
shoot, you're
one of
so
my specialties.
nice. Do you have your own like spin to it or like just your own
Mhm.
like what are some things that you like on it or that you're trying to make it good and unique?
Um, I either just have it with, like, syrup or I'll put, like,
Cool.
strawberries in it and, like, chocolate.
Got you. Nice, for sure. I think it's really important just like the texture of like making crepes because sometimes you just can't like have to make the right texture of not making it too thick and
Mhm.
not too thin for sure. How about for like music wise? Like what do you see is like your jam or like some of your favorite artists and songs that you've been like listening to and like, liking a lot?
Yeah, so my family, were like, big water skiers, so we go on lake trips a lot, so we
Okay.
listen to country, so I've grown up with country, so that's kind of what I like. Yeah.
What's your favorite country artist?
At the moment, I'd say Morgan Wallen.
Well, got you. Are you a fan of Blake,
Yeah.
the guy from The Voice? Got
Mhm. Big
nice,
Sean.
nice. And I was wondering, like, what do you say is like? Well, you have a brother, right?
Yeah, I have a younger brother.
Oh, how old is he?
He's 15, a freshman.
Got you. Nice. Well, is he into sports or like running or like pole vaulting as well, or not?
Yeah, we've got him into pole vaulting,
Oh,
so
bro. Oh, wow.
been with me for that. He played soccer for a while, but now he's doing, golf and pole vaulting.
Oh, cool. How's that going for him for pole vaulting?
He's doing really well, yeah, he's making big improvements, and I think once he kinda goes through his growth spurt and, like, gets weight training and that kinda thing, I think he'll be really good.
Nice. That's awesome. Dang. And also, yeah, so I was wondering, like, what are some things that you like to spend like good quality time with your family?
We go on, like, snow skiing and water skiing trips a lot, so
Cool.
that's definitely one of my favorites. We go houseboating in Lake Powell, which is my all-time favorite vacation.
Nice.
Yeah, but just spending time with family doing anything, playing board games, I just have a great time doing that.
Nice. What location do you guys normally go, or what are some of your favorite?
For lake trips,
Yeah.
Lake Powell, and then we'll go to Lake Mead. We've gone to Arrowhead,
Oh,
and
cool.
then for skiing, we'll go to Mammoth.
Oh, for sure. Dude, I still need to go to Mammoth and Lake
Oh, yeah,
Arrowhead. Like, it's
Ben?
definitely
Yeah.
on the list. Cause like the thing is like it's just so far too. I don't know if my dad wants to drive that far, but definitely like we're about to go during this time, but with COVID, like it's not the right timing. So I think right when COVID ends, and it's also kind of hard for like my family because like it's only 6 people, so it's like everybody had their own things. They're pretty busy, so like, especially my older brother's a lot older now, so try to find the right timing to all go. But definitely like Mammoth seems so much fun, and I'm really
Yeah, it's great.
snowboarding as well, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. And Lake Arrowhead, I think I've been a couple times, but don't have a vivid memory of it though. But definitely want to go back for sure.
Mhm.
I was wondering, so what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind as a pole vaulter?
Um, just I wanna try to break as many records as I can. Um, but yeah, just I mean, I just kinda hope that people will see me as, like, a nice person over a competitor, and that's when I try to make a bunch of connections when I'm at meets and that kinda thing, so,
Sure.
yeah, and just hopefully along the way, I can get the high school national record if there's meets this year and
Right.
do all that and just have I mean, I have a great, high school career already, like,
Mhm.
I've been so fortunate with everything, so
Mm, for sure. I definitely wish you the best. I was
yeah.
wondering, how about last question, another deep question as well. Like, what do you want your legacy to be in life?
That's a good one. I'd say just kinda the same thing, like,
Mm,
I hope that people just see me as, like, being a nice person, but also, like, someone who has, like, a very strong work ethic and, um, who tries in everything because that's something I'm really about, like, just putting in all the work I can to, achieve my goals.
got you. Well, that's awesome. Well, Paige, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your time. Like, I really appreciate it. It's a pleasure
Of
talking with
course.
you
Thank you for having me.
for sure. I'll probably see you around like other track meets at Duke. So I started working for like UCLA as an intern, like as a videographer, photographer. So probably see you around like other track meets as well. So,
For sure.
well, I wish you all the best for pole vaulting, and I hope you have a great day and take care.
You too.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.